Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Wilton Report. And as you know, for those of you who have seen this before, this is Princeton's only dedicated video podcast, talking all things Princeton and greater Princeton real estate. Today, we're going to be focusing on the wrap of the second quarter. We're going to look at some national, state, and obviously local level data. It's a pretty good episode. So again, if you're listening to this on Spotify, thank you. But again, this is a data-heavy presentation, so I always recommend that you listen to it or watch it on YouTube. And for those of you on YouTube, if you haven't already, hit subscribe. So let's get to it. I'm Josh Wilton. I'm co-owner of Queenston Realty. I run the Wilton Group here at Queenston Realty. Just wanted to give you a save the date heads up. We are doing a market seminar. It's Saturday, July the 20th, 10:15 a.m. Here in Princeton. So it's on Zoom or in person. So we'll send you the Zoom link. All you have to do is text seminar to 609-773-8054. We will get it. We will send you the Zoom link, or you can just say you want to come to the office. Whatever works is fine. Okay, just save the date. We're going to be talking about a lot on that one. There's a lot going on in the markets, not only our market, but how we conduct and operate as brokerages is changing. So we'll be talking about that on the 20th as well. So save the date. You're welcome to come, but we will go into very, very micro data about Princeton, the rest of Mercer County, Lower Somerset, Western Middlesex, as well as the state. So will be an awesome morning. Look forward to seeing you at that. And just as a reminder, we are more than just a real estate company. We have a referral associate company. We have a property management company for the landlords who I do know watch this podcast because we do chat via text. We have a closing services and title company, Princeton Abstract, and an ADU development company called Princeton Home Connections. So if you're a single family homeowner in Princeton and you want to know how to build an ADU in your property, go to Princeton Home Connections, click contact, or again, just text me and I'll get right back to you on that. So again, that's Princeton Home Connections. And obviously for landlords, PrincetonPropertyManagementServices.com. Check it out. That company is on fire right now. More to come on that. So again, you can always text for any questions, 773-8054. All good. Let's get to it. Let's start with some national data, okay? It's really, real estate's just interesting. It's like the equities markets. There's always something going on. Real estate's a little different because we all live in the asset, right? And if you're an apartment, you're living in the asset of a real estate investment trust or a landlord. If you're a property owner, you're living in your asset. So it's very personal, it's emotional. And because you live in it, everybody thinks they're an expert, and you're not. But that's a different story. So let's take a look at the national news. So as for those of you who don't know, I do follow Lance Lambert. I'm going to post his Twitter handle in a few slides. He created something called 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐓. Club. I am a subscriber. I think it's genius. He interviewed Bill McBride. So Bill McBride runs a blog called Calculated Risk. He picked the last bust. He picked the bottom of the market in 2012. The guy is a straight up data head on real estate. Great blog. If you've not been to it, calculatedrisk.com. And he basically said this: there's no national crash coming. So if I could summarize that statement in front of you, there's no national home crash coming. There's going to be constrained affordability. There's going to be constrained supply. We're in an incredibly low volume cycle. There's a lot that goes into that, but however, we are in a sort of a mixed bag in terms of the market, but there's not going to be this 2009-like crash. So for those of you who are calling for that, and I know there's buyers literally cheering for that, even though you shouldn't, because if that happens, you will probably be unemployed. It's not going to happen, at least according to every expert and myself that follows the market. So taking a look at inventory, fascinating. So if you look at this graph, the bottom of the graph, and it literally goes from 2023, 22, 2020, 2021. That was supply. This is national according to Realtor.com and put together very nicely by Lance Lambert on 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐓.com. So 2024 is right in the middle. So are we gaining inventory? Yes, we are. However, we are dramatically behind 2019, 2017, 2018, which were considered normal real estate markets. So although inventory on a national basis is picking up, it is not even close to getting back to what we would call pre-pandemic levels. That's the lock-in effect. That's the 2% effect, the golden handcuffs effect. Whatever you want to call it, inventory still remains nationally very constrained. So another view, this is a one-year view, courtesy of Lance Lambert. So you can see in a year, Florida inventory has picked up 71%. So our home price is shifting in Florida. Yes, especially in the condo community. Why? Insurance, HOA, hurricanes, expense, right? There are other considerations there too. People are leaving the state through literally for political concerns. But that's a different deal. I think the majority of it is cost from insurance and cost from HOAs because they've been fixing up after hurricanes, and they did just dodge a bullet on the latest hurricane that came through. California's up 42%. But New Jersey, good old New Jersey, the state that everybody loves to hate, I like New Jersey, is up only 14%. New York is up only 4% in terms of supply. So amongst the lowest 4 states in the country in terms of 1 year. So that sounds like a lot. 71% in Florida, 42% in California. However, when you look at a 2019 to 2024 shift, Florida's dead even. New Jersey is still down 69%. California is still down 34%. People react emotionally to change. We don't like it. Our ego is designed to preserve us, to protect us. So when change happens, we're going to react. But the reality is when you look at a 4-year shift, New Jersey's still 69% behind June 2019. That is a fact. Florida's actually even. Texas, even though they've had a huge swing in inventory, is only up 4%. California is still negative 34%. And the reason I point out those states is because they tend to attract headlines. They're big states, populous, et cetera. So that's the national picture. I highly recommend you look at it. So a 4-year shift, we're still in a really inventory constrained environment. So again, that's Lance Lambert, good looking dude. You can follow him on Twitter at newslambert, or you can go to ResiClub.com and subscribe, or you can watch the Wilton Report because I love his stuff and I share it. So that's Lance, and I interviewed him once. I should call him again. This is New Jersey. Now, full disclosure, this is only through May. This is not through June. So you can see May 23, May 24. So this is single family market overview. So from May 23 to May 24, we picked up 8.3% in inventory. Okay, year to date 2023 to year to date 2024, we're only up 3.4. So you can see it's getting better. But on the graph, it's still really low compared to 22, 21, etc. Pending sales, obviously, year to date are down. Closed sales are down. Median sales price year over year, 12.9% across the state. Average sale price, 13.3% across the state. So what does that mean? It means prices, for the most part, are going up. And we'll talk about that. This is, again, townhouse condo across the state through May, right? Now you can see there is a little bit of a pick in inventory year to date or year over year, 8%. So that's good. More supplies coming on. But again, if you look at the graph, it's still like way below 2022, way below 2021, way below 2019 pre-pandemic. So again, we're in a very undersupplied environment. So what is different about New Jersey versus Texas versus Florida? We can't build the way they do. We just don't have the land. They have a lot of new construction. So it just is what it is. So that's the condo townhouse picture across the state through May. The adult community is negative, right? Negative 1.5, negative 2.9 in terms of pending sales, closed sales negative 2. Why is that? Because the adult community is the furthest away from the first-time home buyer, and the first-time home buyer drives the market, meaning this. They live in mom's basement, that's an exaggeration, sort of, or are renting, they want to buy. They buy a house. What do they buy? Generally speaking, they buy a condo, they buy a townhouse, right, which is good, so a little more supplies coming on. The condo townhouses buys their starter single-family home, Cape Cod, split, whatever. Those folks move into the colonial. The colonial moves to the McMansion. The McMansion generally moves to the adult community market. However, because of the low transaction volume, right, which we'll show you definitely locally, these folks are just sort of stuck for now. Like there's just not a lot of activity, which is why when one comes on, there's like 87 million offers per adult community house. It is what it is. Mercer County, again, through May, year over year, we've seen an 8.5% increase in single family homes. However, we're still behind in terms of closed transactions. Median sales price in Mercer County up 16.5% in a year. So that's Mercer County through May. It's not technically to the end of the second quarter, which the data I'm going to give you shortly. Condo townhouses listings up 15%, closed sales up 17%. So it shows you the ferocity with which the first time or, I don't want to say younger buyer, that's probably illegal, but the buyer who's looking to get out of mom's basement, who's looking to buy their first whatever, they're buying hugely. And median sales price up 26.2% in the condo townhouse market. Adult community, the median sales price is up 20%. Reason being supply. There isn't any. So as things come on, things go up. And again, supply is up 36%, but that's 65 to 89 in Mercer County. That's like a blink of an eye. So there's very low supply in the adult community in Mercer County. There's just not a lot of it. So let's go local. So last time I presented on the Wilton report was 620. There was 57 homes for sale in Princeton, 47% of which were above $2 million. And I said, that's a number we're going to watch. I said there's a glut in the 2 million plus market. I still stand by that. There's some context to it, but we'll go to today. Today, we went from 57 homes down to 47 homes. So that's like a 17% drop. You can do the math. Check it out. I think that's right. 17% drop in supply in 2 weeks, right? Again, it's the July holiday. Sellers are not going to be putting their house in the market. So we are coming into a low cycle historically of supply. But now 59% of Princeton is above 2 million. Again, that's a blanket statement. There is a house in the western section at 4.6 that got a bidding war. So why? New construction, mint, walk to town, sidewalks, whatever. So there is a huge demand out there. It just has to be the right product. Okay. So that is the kind of the big picture status of Princeton. It's something to watch. Princeton Recap for through the second quarter. So this is Princeton only. All this data is through the second quarter only, to give you an idea of what's happening in the market. That's the whole function of the Wilton report, is to show you what's happening. So in 2021, in Princeton through the end of the second quarter, there was 167 closed listings, closed homes. And that runs from a studio in Palmer Square to the McMansion, or the mansion, I should say. We dropped down to 103. So we're dead even with last year. We did not pick up closed transactions. So it's a very difficult market to operate in as a buyer. Very difficult market to operate in as a buyer. And again, 37% of the transactions year to date are cash. So again, it's a very difficult market to operate as a buyer. I think by the time the year ends, this number, will be back up towards 50%. But again, that's tough. So, a third down in 4 years in terms of supply, and the supply has gotten very expensive in Princeton, and we'll look at that. So the value of homes sold, meaning this is just the entire market. Why do I share this? It's interesting. So when you think about it, in 2021, 167 homes sold for a total combined volume of 198 million. In 2024, 103 homes sold for a combined volume of 151 million. So it's showing you prices are going up as supply remains incredibly constrained in Princeton. That's all that means. That's it. So list to sale price ratio, what does that mean? That means, right, this is the percentage over list price on average that you have to bid to be competitive for the home. And if you are a fan of the Wilton report, you've heard me say no less than 1 million times, the market doesn't care what you think about the house. The market is the market. If you want to succeed, you can hire us as your buyer's agent. Why? Because I can tell you myself and my team have sold more houses to buyers than anyone in Princeton in the last 3 years because we know the market. So the list to sale price ratio in Princeton, 103.4% in 2021. It actually dropped in 2023 to 98.9% because you saw a huge pick in prices year over year. So it's not like prices came down, prices went up. The averages went up. This year we're back up to 102.8%. Why? Just the incredibly constrained supply. So days on market, this is a good number to watch. So in 2021, it took on average 81 days to sell a home in Princeton. Right now, it's a little bit of a misleading number because in 2021, things were selling in 2, 3, 4, 5 days. However, in 2021, the things that had been on the market for 4 years sold. The ones that, the agent would bring their seller birthday cakes on the anniversary of their listing, those started to sell in 2021. So we went from 81, 46, 62 last year to 42. That's incredibly fast, right? Because there are things that take a long time to sell. That's factored into that average number. So 42 is lightning, I would say, fast. And then here's I would say it's actually a disheartening number. The single family average price in 2021. So the single family home in Princeton went from 1.250 million to 1.678 million in 4 years. That is a lot of money. It's a huge increase. And again, we're not increasing supply. Princeton, as a municipality, makes it very difficult to build density. They say they want it, but they really don't. So it's large institutional builders who are building apartments versus homes to buy, right? And that's something, I'll be honest, I'm going to be talking about in significant detail. The police are coming to get me for talking about them. In significant detail over the next few months, right? We're going to talk about density. We're going to talk about building, the affordable housing overlay, the redlining effects of the historic preservation in town. And yes, redlining, that's what they did. They're forcing people out and not able to get into Princeton. So it's a big deal. And we're going to talk about it in detail rather than my usual bull in China shop. So days on market, single family, 77 to 42. That is incredibly fast. So the average price for condo and townhouses in 2021, the average price was $756. In 2024, it was $902. That's a $100,000 swing. That's an extra, $700 a month on your mortgage payment for a condo townhouse in Princeton. That's a lot of money. I don't really see that slowing down because that is the most affordable segment in Princeton. If you want to own a home, condos, townhouses are your best vehicle to get in the door in Princeton. And again, in 2021, it took 91 days. And again, somewhat misleading in 2021, some of the townhouses in Palmer Square, which literally have been for sale for, I'm making this up, 10 years, it seems like, sold. They sold. People wanted to be in town, they sold. So, that days on market was factored into that. A little more normalized year to date this year, down to 46. Okay. So the market is absolutely tough, I'll be honest, for buyers. So that's it, actually. That is the Wilton Report for today. That's Princeton. I'm excited to say that the Wilton Report will be broadcast in a few languages starting this week. So we'll look forward to that. It'll be the same presentation in multiple languages starting this week. And I'm going to broadcast again next week. We're going to talk about West Windsor. We're going to talk about Plainsboro. We're going to talk about the surrounding towns because we do get a lot of questions and we have a lot of customers operating in those markets. So we're going to do the second quarter breakdown for those towns next week. If you have not subscribed to the Wilton Report, please do so. And I would ask selfishly, if you like this presentation, you can share it on social media or share it with your friends, people who might be looking for and or thinking of selling homes. We'd love your referrals and we'd love the opportunity to work with you. If you do share it, please let me know so I can thank you appropriately when it happens. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in for the Wilton Report. This is Josh, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody.